Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your January 2020 general reading. Sorry about that. I had a frog in my throat. So I'm actually doing these readings as a sort of Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. I am not sure about the regularity of my readings. I am still going through, seems to be this never-ending up and down grief process, and I need to honour that. So it might still be a little bit hit and miss. I am doing private readings, so my details are below, and you have got the Unfinished Symphony card. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that's the card you were going to get. So this is obviously this feeling. There might be some issues coming back from your past, some relationship dynamics that don't feel they're quite complete yet. New decade. Having loose ends and tying up loose ends is a little bit like the Master card, the World card. Saturn, and Saturn is obviously conjuncting with your ruler, so that maybe that's why I'm not surprised that it shows up for you as your card. So let me have a look at your general reading, see what we can pick up in the month of January. One more shuffle. So just give me a minute. I feel I need to focus quite strongly on your reading. What's going on? So you get the Hierophant behind you, the Five of Swords. Okay, let me carry on. So what you want is the Emperor, which can be a bit Aries, doesn't have to be a bit Aries. It's about I am and I will, an awful lot about personal autonomy and a personal authority. Although this could be a person actually, because the Emperor is the archetypal husband of the deck. And I know that sounds very, very sort of not old-fashioned is the right sense of the word, but let me just carry on. The gift is the Page of Pentacles. Nine of Swords, Three of Pentacles in your relationship. So the Three of Pentacles is a card about pulling as a team to try and understand the nature of a connection. So maybe that's what the unfinished business is about. It's almost like pulling together threads to get to the fundamental essence of something. Money and work, you've got Temperance. The Wheel of Fortune at a soul position. Let's hold on to move this so you can see the cards. Outcome, the Nine of Wands. Oh, so we're still dealing with a little bit of a defensive PSD card. This is my last man standing card. A little bit of a card of resistance and boundaries. Boundaries are not a negative in any shape or form. In fact, if someone's not treating us how we should be treated, then we should always have these Nine of Wands and these boundaries. I'm going to try and find out what are these boundaries about though. Yeah, it's about happiness because it's with the Ten of Cups. I don't know why. I had a feeling. I think some of you are dealing with a relationship that's got a lot of push and pull. I'm here, I'm gone. That sort of energy, and I'm not sure why, because the unfinished business tends to show up as that quite a lot. And the Emperor is what you most want, is very, very much this huge sense of destiny and personal mastery. It rules Aries. Aries is I am and I will. So very much about personal control. Almost like go for it. I am my own authority. I am my own sense of destiny in this world. Because Mars is the other ruler of Scorpio. Yeah, it is its ancient ruler. So very much about direction and focus. And I think particularly on the work, because the Page of Pentacles is the gift. This could be some sort of gift of, it could be a new job. okay? Some sort of new career path, or it could be some sort of very small, very small attempts of someone to bridge a gap between you and them. Very small with the Page of Pentacles. It's a very, very humble energy. So it can come across as someone trying to make an apology, trying to bridge some sort of gap, but you're actually looking in the opposite direction here, in sort of a sense of going after your own sense of authority. The challenge is the Nine of Pentacles. So why is the Nine of Pentacles a challenge? Because of the Devil card. Something feels a little bit I want to use the word blocked and unbalanced in this situation. And I don't know why, but it seems to be something to do. I cannot help seeing that Page of Pentacles. It might be a new work offer, but I cannot help see that there's someone trying to bridge a gap between you and them. Because the Three of Pentacles showing up in this position is about trying to pull all the threads together to try and understand what something was about, reach a sense of completion, that sort of thing. But it's definitely a card about pulling energy together in order to not always move on. That's not always the case. It's not about moving on, but it's a sense of what's going on between me and you. Yeah? And that Page of Pentacles very, very often shows up as someone who's making steps forward to try and heal some sort of gap. The fact the Devil's there is a challenge. It might just feel, for some Scorpios, that there's too many obstacles here. There's too many obstructions. And you're very, very much focused on your own sense of destiny and personal direction, which is exactly what we should be doing in a situation like this. By the way, there's very, very little we can do with it. Now, the Hierophant and the Five of Swords behind you. So the Hierophant can be a Taurus energy. It's about wisdom, straightforwardness, living by the book. And the Five of Swords can be some sort of challenging conversation with someone. What's this Five of Swords about? Some sort of, this almost seems to be some sort of communication here. And the communication isn't straightforward. There's a lot of undermining. I don't even like the word backstabbing, but there's a lack of straightforward conversation here with someone. And I don't know why, because I don't always read the cards like that, but that Page of Pentacles is about some sort of energy coming forward, but it's not quite, what came before the Devil? The Nine of Pentacles. It's not quite, it's almost like quite, it's not out of the shadows yet. It's not straightforward dialogue. It's almost not, what's the right word? It's unbalanced. This might be with someone in your life, actually, that is very much out of balance. It could be a very powerful attraction with someone, but I think for a lot of yous, it's not, because the Devil is the Lover's card backwards, okay? So something's not been expressed. Either the person that's showing up in your cards is maybe a soul that's got themselves a little bit trapped in some difficult circumstances. Can be addiction, doesn't have to be. It can be a destructive relationship. And even though this Page of Pentacles is coming across as the gift, because you want the Emperor, there's a part of you sort of just aiming forward and maybe not even, it's almost, there's a willingness to work together. Something interesting here. What's that Three of Pentacles with, please? Yeah, it's another page. So there's 2 pages. But 2 pages with the Devil as a challenge. It's like there's a whole cup here, as a whole ocean, but they're only giving you this tiny, tiny little bit of it. There's something unbalanced here and not straightforward in this reading. I mean, I actually love the pages because they have this exciting potential, but because what you want is the Emperor and the Devil is a challenge here, it's almost as a feeling here that new beginnings, new potentials, new offers are here, and the potential to resolve some issues. I don't particularly, I mean, it's like the Devil would eat these pages alive. There's not a, it's like there's not enough coming forward here. I think some of you are dealing with some sort of relationship challenge. This might only be for a couple of years. There might be communication that's a little bit backhanded and not straightforward. And maybe that's why you're going into that go for it. What's my sense of destiny? Because Aries is always about that impulsive moving forward direction. Temperance and money and work is about balance. What's temperance about for Scorpio? Keeping your head above water. So I'm not picking up in any difficult financial energy. Might not be the most exciting time because temperance is about that middle path. Yeah, she holds the grail, she's got the fire, her head's above water, but it's almost, this reading doesn't seem to be very focused on money and work, and even though your head is above water, there's some relationship dynamic here. I need to try and find out what it's about. Who else I had to do that for was Virgo. They got a very confusing relationship reading. And who else? Libra. Soul position, you get the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is about Fortuna. It's a sense of destiny. And that's what I mean. So the pages aren't bad cards. They're very, very beautiful potentials. And they're more than the aces because they actually do step forward and make some sort of gesture. So obviously because the Wheel of Fortune, this is something that's been very, very desired. Some sense of destiny here. But there's something a little bit off with this situation. And I think that's what the Nine of Wands are about, is the outcome that you're having to put up some boundaries to something. Tell me after the Nine of Wands, and then you get to the Fool card, which is the new beginning, which is absolutely, it's like you're moving out of this shadowy energy. It's almost like, for some of you, this is a relationship that's been in your past. It looks like they're still around you. And I think for some of you, these pages are coming through. But with it, there's something out of balance here. And you know what? The Devil card is one of these cards that I actually love. Actually, I love all the tarot cards because it can talk about a very, very powerful attraction for some of you. It doesn't look like the relationship's flowing very well though. But for some of you, there's someone showing up in your reading here. And it might be someone from your past, and there's some difficult dialogue. They're trying to pull you back in here. The Fool is a 0. So the Fool carries no karma, okay? So to carry no karma means everything has reached, well, as much as possible, completion. The threads have came together. We've tried to understand the nature of something. Sometimes we've said no. Sometimes we say yes. Everything's different. But the Fool would point to me that the road ahead is going to be clear for you to walk down. And I don't know if that's with someone. This page is a person. I know it is. I can almost see them. It's driving me mad. Some sort of offers, some sort of potential, some sort of... For some of you, it might be someone who's not in the best personal position, and they're trying to bring you back in. Some of you are saying no and walking down a brand new path. I need to try and clarify this. Oh my gosh, honestly, I've only had to do this for a couple of people. Something a little bit confusing going on here. So what's the connecting card with all these pages and what was going on for Scorpio? You get the Sun. So the Sun illuminates. It comes after the Moon. So it talks about things coming out of the shadows, which would be what the Three of Pentacles would say in your relationships. But it's only the pages, Scorpio. And because that Devil's a challenge, it's other things going on here. So how are you approaching them? Okay, King of Wands. No, they're the Judgment card, yeah. So Judgment card is about regeneration, coming back from the dead. It's the opposite side of the Scorpio card. So after death, we get rebirth, yeah. They're approaching you in this way, and I thought it was their energy. And the Sun is about illuminating that what was sort of in the Moon, which was hidden. You're the King of Wands, and you're looking in the opposite direction, which is very the same as the Aries card. Very, very focused on your own sense of where I want to put my energy, my focus, sense of destiny. So I really, really like that. So what is a challenge? Yeah, the World card, which is pretty much what I thought it was. For some of you, you're dealing with a relationship dynamic. The World is a completion card. So the other person's not fully completed something yet. And that's what the Devil, and why these little pages were coming from the Devil. And I thought, oh no, there's something not balanced about that. The World is the Master card. After the World, we begin again in the Fool. And for some of you, as you're watching, focusing on a relationship dynamic, I couldn't quite tell if you are moving forward. Some of you are moving forward, you're saying no because what the person's offering you isn't enough. So you go forward to the Fool. For others, you are going forward to the Fool with a person, but they've not quite completed the cycle they're in yet. That's why you're only getting the energy of the pages showing up. What's the other person's feelings here? Yeah, they're the Three of Swords. So could be torn between two people. That's what the World card would be. Or they're not in the best personal space. For Scorpios who are dealing with people who are not... For some of you, it might be just people not completed one cycle yet. For others, there might be someone showing up in your cards that are not in the best way, okay? Just going to warn you, I'm going to put it out there. If anyone can deal with it, it's a Scorpio. So I'm not going to play any games with you. And the King of Wands and the Emperor can deal with that energy because it's so full of personal focus and direction. So I think there's someone coming back or trying to find a way back into your life. Give me another message for Scorpio. Give them an advice card. Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles are always about form, new chapters. There's an old saying, when fishermen can't go to sea, they repair their nets, okay? So we take care of the earthy, practical part of our lives. And that's you and your opposite of Taurus, and that's how we balance out things. It's almost saying take care of the fundamentals, yeah? And I think you are, because the King of Wands means that you're sort of turning your back on this situation and very much focusing on your own sense of destiny here. It's almost a Scorpio. Some of you have been the person that you're focusing on has been dealing with something quite challenging. The challenges come at us in all different shapes and forms. For some of them, it's definitely addiction. It's about being in a relationship they don't want to be in. Some sort of difficulty. But because the Judgment card is here, they're coming back, okay? And what you do with it is really, really, really up to you. It always is. Yeah, look, you will laugh. You got the Clean It Up card. Same as unfinished business, a sense of straightforwardness. Only expecting and only commanding that you're met fully. I did not like the two pages for that Devil's Challenge. And I remember once that I used to smile when I got a page. And now I'm like, you what? You what? Scorpio, you cannot deal with anything and your soul will not be happy unless you can deal with someone who meets you as an equal. And I'm not saying that's not what's happening here, because it could just be this person's been going through a very challenging time. If that's the case, then I think it's brilliant because they're coming back. And in that case, if all they can show you small bits, and that's a real positive. So I didn't mean to be cruel. But for some of you, it's not. It's because the person is not dealing with something. Yeah. And I guess that's why sometimes the Nine of Wands is a negative and other times it's an absolute no. Deal with the things that you need to deal with. Or if it's someone that you've been dealing with that's not been very well and they're coming forward as a page, then it's beautiful that they're offering a page. So I didn't mean to be judgmental, and please don't be angry if I am. It was a little bit complex. I think this reading might only be for a couple of years. What I do in that case, bless everyone, yeah. I am doing private readings. My links are underneath. Anything else for Scorpio? Any more advice? Yeah, you got Temperance again, and you got the Ace of Pentacles. Focus on the Taurus element. And the Taurus element is everything you can see, everything that's in front of you. And then we let the process evolve around us, and then we make a choice on what decision we are going to walk down. But then we make a decision from mastery and not from a sense of I'm only worthy of a page. Oh my God, this was complex. Okay guys, lots of love. Bye.